now we're in the studio with 3 members of the Fox Valley Thrives Alliance. It's an alliance of public health, community organizers, and planners working to try to make life better for everyone in the Fox Valley. So we have Connie Canitz. She's the Esther Fox Valley Transit Task Force leader. Thank you for being here, Connie. We have Melissa Kramer-Badke. She's the Principal Transportation Planner with East Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. I've said that a couple times, so I can say it pretty quickly. And we have Stephanie Gildenvan here, Co-Coordinator of Rethink, Community Organizer by trade, and Health Educator with the Winnebago County Health Department. Thank you all for being here today to talk about Fox Valley Thrives.
Thank you.
So, all right, so like I said, Fox Valley Thrives is an alliance working to address health equity in the Fox Valley by joining forces from different sectors to work on real community issues that are impacting people. So, Stephanie, can you give us a really brief overview of the concept of Fox Valley Thrives and health equity and end with a little bit of kind of what kind of project we're working on?
Yeah, so Fox Valley Thrives was created to bring together a lot of different groups that are wanting to see the community healthier for everyone. So we focus on health equity, which really means trying to make sure the community is truly healthy for everyone. So we try to find people in different groups of our community that perhaps are not part of decision-making process or part of systems that typically work for the general population, such as transportation, which is one of the issues that we're working on currently, and working to find ways for that to be accessible for people that perhaps don't have a car or walk or bike, that types of things.
Awesome. So it's really about bridging different sectors and then people that maybe do this as their profession, as well as people that have lived experiences.
True.
Awesome. So, and then speaking of unique perspectives, you are a new staff member with the Winnebago County Health Department and have a role as a coalition coordinator with Rethink. So, team effort right here. But that's something that is pretty unique to Fox Valley Thrives as well, where you were a community organizer and now you've kind of changed roles. How's that going?
Well, when we first started Fox Valley Thrives, I was an organizer with the Esther organization. So I had my start for 8 years in community organizing, working with people that are impacted and especially changing the systems in a community so that it does work for everyone. And I bring that side to the Fox Valley Thrives work of health equity. Mm-hmm. But I also have the interesting lens that I am now growing of working with public health. And I've been with the health department for 6 months now, and I would say it's a learning curve that I'm definitely learning the way of public health, but to have those two perspectives I think is really helpful for the Fox Valley Thrives Alliance to see how we can kind of bridge some of those organizations and agencies that are sometimes more difficult to bridge.
And then one other lens you have, which works well with the issue that Fox Valley Thrives is working on right now, is transportation. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I have worked for probably 6 years on transportation, specifically to transit, but not limited to just transit. When we were working on increasing access for the Fox Cities and Oshkosh area, I won't get into the wonkiness of what the issue was, but basically we almost lost half of our transit system at the time. And then I worked with statewide groups through the Wisdom organization to focus on transportation issues, especially focusing on people that aren't able to get around by using a vehicle and having their voice part of the solution to try to increase access.
Gotcha. So speaking of transportation, Melissa, you're a transportation planner, so I thought you would be the best to answer this question. So when we're talking about transportation, especially in terms of an issue for Fox Valley Thrives, what kinds of transportation are we talking about here?
So we're really talking about people who walk, people who bike, people who use transit. You know, those other modes of transportation as transportation options for folks to be able to get to destinations, whether that's their job, to schools, to the grocery store, to healthcare services. Really looking at providing access for all community members to be able to get to where they need to go.
Gotcha. And that's a very, I don't want to say public healthy kind of way of looking at it, but when we're talking about access to transportation, this made a really great issue for Fox Valley Thrives to work on, because each entity that you're representing has kind of a stake in the game for working on transportation. So, Connie, can you talk a little bit about what it means from Esther's perspective to work on access to transportation?
Well, it's really important because we see transit as being a foundation for the community. It helps to really bring a lot more choices for people to have. If they have a choice when and where they're going to live, work, go to school, and participate fully in the community. And with Esther, we're looking, what we can bring is, after we have the information that we gather from conversations with bus riders, and as we understand more of the statistics, and the strategic planning for the future, we can bring some of those ideas back to the legislators for action.
Awesome. So speaking of some of those conversations, Fox Valley Thrives recently held some tacos and transportation nights. Can we get a little explanation about that?
Yeah, so we started working on transportation, and then we realized that we really need to find a way to show to our community some of the transportation issues that we have. So some of those issues we knew that existed were like sidewalks starting and ending but not continuing through. So we figured collecting stories and showing pictures of issues in our community would be a great way for us to demonstrate to the community transportation issues that need to be solved.
And so then from that bubbled up this kind of photo mapping project, right, Melissa?
Right.
So talk a little bit about where that's headed.
Sure. So we're working with different organizations and folks in the community in order for them to take photos of, how they get to and from different places. What issues do they have? Is there a sidewalk that ends here? Is there not a transit route that goes into a neighborhood that they really need to be at? Or, what types of improvements could be made? And with those photos, we can then tell stories about access to transportation and what the needs really are out in the community.
So then taking that photo mapping example, we've got that up on the screen right now, we can take that information that's collected and, like Connie said, share it with legislators and other decision makers about what's important to people in the community, right?
Yes, it's good to find out what some of the concerns are, and we really know that Valley Transit probably has lots of ideas of what they can do, but it's always limited by money, and so money goes back to the legislators to see, how we can support a really great transit system.
Yeah, and when we're talking about this work, it's transportation, it's transit, it's local, it's regional, it's state. So there's a lot of pieces moving with this photo mapping project, and Fox Valley Thrives. So it really takes a concerted effort, like this alliance, for Fox Valley Thrives to work on all this together. So that's kind of all we have time for today. We could probably do an entire show on Fox Valley Thrives and photo mapping, but stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have you guys back in 6 months or so to kind of share some of the results of the photo mapping project. So that's pretty much all we've got time for today for our show. You can always connect with Rethink about what's going on and on our health department through our websites. The health department website is winnebagopublichealth.org, and the Rethink site is rethinkwinnebago.org. You can also connect to any of our social media platforms through either of those websites, or you can just search for us, Winnebago Public Health, or Rethink Winnebago. So we hope that you stay connected with us throughout the year, and we're really glad to have you be a part of our community and helping make the healthier choice the easier choice. Until next time, have a great day.